any kind of initiative, there is associated risk actually. But when it comes to the geospatial projects or kind of an investment, actually, we have to really consider the potential data sources, defining a proper use cases, and identifying the pain points of the organization, educate the stakeholders that this is the benefit we are getting. So a lot of our clients, they have done a very good investment on the infrastructure side and data side and on the technology side. Geospatial dimension is not penetrated into the operational processes. They're not getting a maximizing the benefit of it. That is the kind of a risk investors are looking into.
Hello and welcome to Horizons, the World Geospatial Industry podcast. My name is Andy Coote and I'm the Chief Executive of Consultingware. I'm also on the Sustainable Finance Committee of the WGIC. On this episode, I'm joined by Narendra Vattem, and Narendra is going to talk about sustainable finance, particularly in the context of larger projects which are not just concerned with geospatial. And thank you very much, Narendra, for joining us. So without further ado, please can you outline how you became involved in geospatial and a little about your company?
Thank you, Andrew, and being inviting for this podcast and the organizing the sustainable finance the track actually. First of all, I'm really happy to be part of this geospatial industry. I've been working last 25 years at delivering geospatial intelligence solutions, starting from paper maps to digitalizing the maps, and from there to transitioning towards the enterprise GI systems, and then data analytics, and enabling into the AI and adapting the geo agents and futuristic solutions actually. So how we are transitioning the complete industry towards the kind of a whole journey. And last 25 years I've been associated to this, and we deliver different value to our clients and making a difference in their business actually. So when it comes to the iSpatial Techno Solutions, and we found the organization to provide smart solutions in geospatial sector and AI, and where we started our company in 2009, and we have been delivering geospatial intelligence solutions, and we started working on delivering the web mobile applications and enterprise GIS systems, and there we transitioning towards that into Brain.ai is one of our flagship product, and integrating with ArcGIS and the GIS enterprise, and integrating with IoT sensors and applying the intelligence of the machine learning and deep learning and AI capabilities. Actually, now we are transitioning towards the Gen AI models and integrating with DeepSeek and OpenAI capabilities, transitioning the geospatial data intelligence into a decision making, and for creating an impact on the sustainability, smart government, and also the geospatial data knowledge infrastructure, and as well as the digital transformation journey of utilities and oil and gas sector. So that is where we are currently focusing on delivering our value to our clients.
Yeah, that's very interesting. The transition that you've made clearly is quite significant over a relatively limited period of time. So I think that leads us towards the key in certainly my mind is around how we sustainably fund geospatial going into the future, and there are many options obviously for doing that, but I think your experience will be very instructive to our listeners. So if I can pose a question that encapsulates that, perhaps. Increasingly, geospatial data and its management is a component of much larger projects, whether these are infrastructure development or climate change mitigation. So can you tell us a little bit about how you present the role of geospatial as an enabler to funding organisations particularly, and are able to sell its value?
This is really a good thing. Always, funding is always any kind of initiative. That is the key enabler for success of this initiative, actually. When it comes to the geospatial side, the foundational data platform and knowledge infrastructure and also the capacity building of the people is a very fundamental layer of the geospatial sector, actually. And also, when we talk about the finance, actually, and we need to really show the initiative of the geospatial is mapping with the strategic objective of the organization, actually, and then we could able to show the clear ROI and whatever the fundamental geospatial data and knowledge infrastructure which we build, planning to build, actually, that will serve the across the organization and making an impact on the whole business process, actually, the whole aligning with their core objectives of that, actually. So then this is when we are saying that when you are able to map all these geospatial initiatives with strategic objectives and then creating a clear ROI across starting from strategy planning, operations and compliance and regulations, and as well as futuristic initiatives and the capacity building of the people, and for the smart decision making power or using the GIS location intelligence data, that really gives a clear ROI for convincing the leadership team in order to bring the better value to our clients.
So, how do you go about establishing the return on investment? Do you use your own staff? Do you bring in specialists in finance or in economics to help you establish the ROI? Because to me, it seems our resources that we commonly go to in geospatial perhaps are not experts in these fields, and we need to go further afield. Has that been your experience?
Yeah, actually, we are a kind of a smart solution provider company where we do the end-to-end implementation of geospatial solutions. And also, we do a kind of as a system integrator, bringing all the stakeholders together and delivering the value, actually. So, we are a technology company, but definitely when it comes to the ROI point of view, we map this the value which we are delivering out of our solution. What is an impact it is going to create? Actually, it's a tangible benefit or intangible benefit where it can able to create an impact on the business. Actually, it will save the manpower, it will save the decision making power, and also it can also give you some kind of time saving and the making things quicker and better. So all these different aspects of those use cases, actually, the derived value of those use cases, actually, and then bring that into a kind of the value and then providing that, actually. So definitely, we sometimes we take some support from financial analysts can able to help us to properly derive the number to show the clear the tangible benefit for the whole geospatial ecosystem or whatever the geospatial data infrastructure which our clients are building, actually. Yes.
I think our experience certainly is that bringing in financial experts, because often your funders are going to be financial people by background, and they have their own language and maybe they have their own accepted credibility and professional experience, which often is difficult for geospatial people to necessarily understand and be seen as credible. Yeah, I think this multidisciplinary team approach is something that's important. Would you agree?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely, I can agree on that, actually. So that's what the multidisciplinary team and as well as with the different stakeholders associated to this, actually, and bringing it to the board, and also overall getting the benefit of those kind of the value of those things, actually, then combining together, we can able to present the better ROI, actually, to the clients.
Okay, no, that's very good. So moving on, Can you take a case study for a large project and explain how the investment plan was developed? Who are the important players in this process? Because obviously, if you're looking to partly fund this through venture capital or other financial vehicles, and partly through the client, and maybe some investment on your own account, there are a number of different components there to bring together. So perhaps just run through a case study and perhaps explain how that worked.
Okay, I'm really happy to explain those scenarios actually, and the mainly if I take an example of one of the oil and gas sector actually, so we define a 3 year strategy and roadmap for our client actually, so as a part of the initial plan actually. So this particular thing we involved all the business stakeholders actually, the business department starting from the exploration, the production, and as well as the operations and the regulatory compliance team and the planning team as well actually. So we map the geospatial value for the each department actually. So what kind of value they are going to get out of the fundamental geospatial data sets and for their activities actually. And if we talk about the well planning, if we talk about live data of getting from the integrating with the different source of data of the well production, and also the sensors is there for understanding about the HSE risk assessment. Also, when it comes to the plant operations, actually, there are different kind of, the data is coming, floating across the plant and then bringing that into location intelligence, doing a risk assessment, doing a proper, even the production planning and forecasting, actually, and then disseminating that to the distribution network, actually, to the customers, actually. So the whole value chain, we are able to bring different kind of use cases, and then we involved all the stakeholders. We explained that okay, this is the fundamental layer of the geospatial thing actually, and then required this kind of an investment actually. So this will bring the value for this particular departments actually, and this is the use cases actually. So from their use cases to involve to the top the management actually, the leadership team and the executive teams actually, we have presented the board actually about the how the geospatial initiative is transforming the organization actually and making a better decisions. So they were thinking that before this was just map and can give you some kind of a visualization of it actually. So we are able to present that it's a map is just it's a geospatial is beyond the maps actually, and this is the intelligence and where we can able to take better decisions and definitely create a huge impact in terms of your capital investments and operational investment and regulatory compliances and all these areas actually. So we have successfully implemented the whole program for 3 years, and after that we continuously taking care of the initiation, even the operation support and maintenance of the thing. And the critical thing is also to maintain the things. Actually, it's just not implementing the enterprise platform. Actually, so you have to maintain your data, you have to maintain your capacity planning, you have to also continuous improvement of your use cases. Actually, with the different kind of enablement of by relying on the foundational geospatial system implementation. Actually.
So, in certainly my experience, you can have a very good return on investment, but where's the money coming from? Whether it's coming internally within the organization, or they're going out to financial institutions such as venture capitalists. This is often where the project falls down, because you've got to bring those kind of people on board in order to have the necessary money available to make the project run. So can you just explain some of your experience with dealing with that type of external financing?
Yeah, actually, whatever the example which I have given is the one of the example for the oil and gas sector, which they fund as an internally and then align with their strategic initiatives actually. But there are certain initiatives which is like required a huge investment in infrastructure development. It's not only the geospatial side of it actually. Even if we say that environmental monitoring actually, so there's the air quality stations and water quality stations, underground water monitoring, and these are all things required a huge underlying infrastructure investment actually. And then for their interest is as data, not really. No, their core operations is environmental monitoring actually. The regulatory authorities, they are interested about data, but how even it's functioning about the air quality and water quality and all more on engineering side of it actually. So where we bring some kind of engineering companies where they can able to invest on building that infrastructure and then enabling the data, and we are a technology provider bringing the data and also come that mapping the data with EPA regulations and compliance reports, so that we can able to show the value to our client that okay, this is the engineering companies where they are instrumentation and engineering companies able to build the complete infrastructure, underlying infrastructure, which can continuously monitoring and then providing the data. And we are a technology company gathering the data and then applying the intelligence and modeling and then bringing that into mapping with the standards actually, so deliver the value to our clients actually. So this one, the client who is paying kind of data as a service actually, and intelligence as a service actually. So we provided, instead of doing a capital investment maintenance of those hardware and the infrastructure actually, client is not bothering about all these aspects actually, but he's getting the value out of it, and then he's paying for what he's really getting the value out of it actually. And the instrumentation company taken the challenge of, because their core area, they are able to maintain their infrastructure, and we are a technology company. We are able to provide all the technology enablement to our clients as well actually. So this is a kind of a PPP model, the private public partnership model, where everybody take their kind of a role actually. Even the whole process actually, even part of the sustainable development initiatives actually. So there are a lot of funding organizations. They are ready to invest on the green funding and as well as some kind of sustainable development goals, even for the country level, state level. A lot of organizations are having some kind of a finance, but they are not able to do the technically doing the things actually. So that they are also ready to invest on the project, as per everybody has their role to play, and then they are able to get the return of investment of their investment based on the value chain which is getting across the process actually. So it's creating an impact on the globally on the overall value chain, and collaboration with all these different stakeholders and defining their roles and responsibilities, and clear models, and also the return of investment on their particular area of the efforts actually, then able to build successfully the use cases. We have already delivered to certain clients in Middle East, and as well as we are proposing similar models also to the US market actually.
So the as a service model, essentially the investment is upfront, and then during the operation period, that's where the organizations such as your own recover the investment that you've made in setting that system up at the start.
Correct.
So obviously that's there's a lag. You've got to invest before you start getting the money back. And from what you're saying, in some cases, this is coming from investment funds like green investment and others that may be government backed. Do you ever have to go to commercial financial institutions in order to get that upfront capital to make the investment?
Yeah, so far we did not go to that kind of a commercial investment actually, but we are able to manage with our appetite of whatever the instrumentation companies, they can able to handle it, and also the technology company, we can able to handle our capital investment, and then we are able to deliver the value to our client actually, and then they are ready to pay operational the kind of derived value from the data which we are providing actually from the use cases. So we are getting that value, and we are able to sustain the model actually with that kind of an approach actually. But there are bigger approach where we approach to some kind of financial institutes, and those are all, they are also ready to do that by seeing this kind of the model successfully deployed and running in the certain areas actually. So the same thing, they are ready to invest on certain large scale, and where we are associated with some of the financial institute as well. But so far we did not even taken any kind of funding from the financial institute actually.
Okay, understood. When you're looking at investors, even if they're institutional investors such as governments, I guess they're looking at risks. Certainly in our experience, that's where they start. What are the risks? What can go wrong? And what is your approach to the way in which you address those kind of risks with them?
Yeah, that's definitely everything has its pros and cons actually, and definitely when you are saying any kind of initiative, there is associated risk actually. But when it comes to the geospatial projects or kind of an investment actually, which we are doing, which we are proposing or planning actually, so you have to really consider that uh, the potential data sources, identifying the right data sources, defining a proper use cases, and defining the identifying the pain points of the organization actually, whom we are delivering those use cases actually. There are some quick wins can able to give you the better value, the quick immediate value, where it can give a better quick ROI, and then long term point of view will get some kind of a benefits. And those are all things you have to identify, educate the stakeholders that this is the benefit we are getting, this is the, even if you build the system, if they are not using it actually, so then obviously you'll not get the benefit out of it actually. So you, the geospatial processes into a operational processes, then you will really get a better value out of it actually. Then your risk is very less actually. The second thing is you have to maintain the data continuously. It's not like a one time I purchase this and I am able to deliver this use case actually. Then definitely, what is an operational plan? If you don't have a proper operational plan to maintain your data, infrastructure, capacity building, and properly managing the whole the geospatial ecosystem actually, and you will not get the best benefit out of it actually. So that is the key risk which we are seeing actually. It's a lot of our clients which we have seen, they have done a very good investment on the infrastructure side and data side, and maintain on the technology side actually. So but the maintenance of it actually, the operations point of view, maybe not plowed properly. Also the geospatial dimension is not penetrated into the operational processes actually. So that is where the gap, and then they're not getting a maximizing the benefit of it actually. So that is the kind of a risk investors are looking into it. So during the planning and strategy, and also during the implementation, considering this one, and always having a proper operational plan and maintain the data and infrastructure and the capacity planning is gives the full potential of the geospatial thing and reduce the risks actually.
Yes, I think the hearts and minds of the people who are going to operate these systems is often not thought through from the beginning, and therefore when they're presented with this, they don't necessarily feel that they own the solution. So to me, it's very important that the real operational people are involved right from the earliest stage of the project, so you can ensure that you have got a willing set of recipients for the system you're going to provide. We often say that you can have the most perfect system in the world for a task. If you don't win the hearts and minds of those who are going to operate it, they will make it fail. And this is, I think you're very right in identifying that as being a major risk, that because it's downstream in the project is often forgotten, and it needs to be factored in from the beginning.
Yes.
So just the final thing, I think we talked a little bit here about the commercial kind of propositions into utilities. Can you comment about projects that you've been involved in, which have involved local and central government, who tend to be perhaps in volume the bigger number of clients for our geospatial services, and whether the models that you've developed can be applied to those kind of use cases?
Yeah. Mainly, what we can say that we work with large national mapping agencies where we build spatial data infrastructure program for the national mapping agencies. Also, we build an enterprise GIS platforms for the utilities clients, actually, where we transition the clients to legacy systems to the modernized enterprise GIS systems, actually, for the city and local government as well, actually. So this is our core, one of the core competency of the building a kind of the large scale enterprise GIS systems and processes, and as well as standard operating procedures, infrastructure setup and operations model for that one, actually. Okay, so this really helps us to transitioning our client towards the kind of legacy way of practicing the using the GIS data and the maps, actually, towards the AI models, and kind of developing some kind of different kind of geo AI models, actually, and to help the urban planning. Even if I can say some examples, actually, and that is more on urban planning team. They are responsible for not to reduce the green areas across the city for their urban development, actually. So the urban development should not impact the green areas, actually. So using the geo AI model, we are able to extract the tree canopy cover and then able to give you some kind of clear insights, two different time zones, the imagery, and then run the model, actually. Then it can able to give you the clear insights that are you meeting the compliance or not, actually. So that is one of the example I can say that. Like that, there are water bodies, there are green areas, there are also the land use and land cover, and different kind of earth observation models which we developed for the city landscape, actually. So that can able to help our city government and utility clients in order to take better decisions and to maintain their operations and their activities, actually. That is one of the good use case, I can say that.
No, that's excellent, where you're focusing really on making more efficient existing processes. And so actually, as you've said before, being able to assert what the savings would be from changing their operations to take better advantage of GeoAI and other technology advances, that's perhaps an easier way of being able to create a return on investment, because it's something they already do. And so therefore the changes from their current operations to future operations is easier for them to see, and easier for you to be able to assert what the savings would be from making those changes. So
Sure.
yeah, that's an excellent example. We could go on talking for a lot longer, I think, Narendra, but we'll end it there, I think, and just thank you very much for sharing those insights. I think they're really valuable to
Sure.
WGIC and the wider geospatial community.
Yeah.
So just as a final point for us on the call, thank you very much for joining this episode of Horizons, the World Geospatial Industry podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then you can follow us on LinkedIn as we continue to advance technology and policy matters relevant to the geospatial sector and create business opportunities in the process for the industry. See you again next time.